folks. And before we get started, don't forget, man, look, man, go into YouTube, we're at Boxing 101, subscribe, and listen to our podcast. Chat with us tonight, every Thursday at 8 p.m. and tell us what's on your mind in the world of boxing. That's what we're doing. And like always, before we get started, Warriors Edge Boxing is going racing this year. That's right. We are going racing. Brandon Shore, driver of the number 21 Sprint Car Series, is going to be kicking up some dust and winning some races. We're going to have Warriors Edge Boxing flying high with him. So race season's about to start in Vado, New Mexico for the Texas Sprint Car Series. And we're so excited to be part of that. Warriors Edge is everywhere, folks. That's right. So, you know what? Speaking about boxing, how about this weekend? Man, it was Canelo Alvarez versus Daniel Jacobs. So the question for tonight, if you want to live chat with me, is, hey, man, tell me what you thought about that fight. And folks, I thought it was great. I think Canelo did great. I think Canelo did what he had to do. Canelo did enough to win the fight, even more. I think the one that didn't do enough was Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs needed more aggression. He just didn't do it. He backed up. He looked scared. I don't know. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon just because he's Mexican. But let me tell you one thing. That is one bad motherfucker, right? So Canelo wins the fight, and we're going to be discussing it all night in the next hour. And with our co-host, we're going to have our guest of honor tonight. So chime in, ask him a question. And speaking of our guest of honor, guys, this guy is a Mexican-American professional wrestler, all right? And he's currently signed with the WWE. Folks, our guest of honor will be Sin Cara. Sin Cara, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's good to be here. I wanted to be here a little earlier, last week, but unfortunately, I was in El Paso. Fortunately for me, I was in England. I was over there, on a trip that one of the best experiences of my life. I never thought I was going to be there because I was in Mexico and some promotion and some stuff. I'm getting ready to get back into wrestling.
Right. So, okay. So you were in the UK?
Yep.
Wow.
I was in Wolverhampton, England.
Wolverhampton, England. Wow. And how cool was that, Sin Cara?
It was an amazing experience. Everything came about through Twitter. My friend Raul Jimenez, who plays in the national team, just got signed. 4 years. He's a player that has, evolved. He plays in America, Mexico, and Atlético Madrid, and he got running and just got signed with Wolverhampton, and he had an amazing season. So some people will say, I made a special edition mask.
Yeah, and we saw it. I think you sent us a video, and folks, we're going to put it on our website if you haven't seen that video.
Yeah.
It was great. It was an awesome mask, man. Right?
Yeah, it was an original mask. I only made 2 for him, 1 for me, and then he scored a goal in the FA Cup semifinals, and he put it on, and it just became a big trend all over the world. It was amazing. So this past Monday, a fan asked me, hey, you should come and see the team players in the last home game of next season. And then I answered back. I usually never do that, but I did. I was like, hey, if they invite me to the Wolves team, I would love to go. So everything came about in the next couple of days. On Tuesday, we got in touch with my team, with a marketing company in Mexico, marketing. And they were talking back and forth, and everything ended up.
Yeah, and I saw, and I guess that's a European soccer team at the highest level. Am I right?
The Premier League, which is
the Premier League. Yeah.
Right now, it's considered the best league in the world.
Wow.
It was amazing. They got in contact with me. Their director. Wanted to take me over there, so they did everything possible that I could do there. So that happened on Tuesday. On Wednesday night, I was flying from Mexico City to Paris to Birmingham.
Wow, and you know what the coolest thing, Sin Cara, is you got fans all over the world.
Yeah.
I saw that there was kids there waiting for you.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think, in any sport, boxing, soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, they can identify with, I guess, being a warrior. In the sense, I wear a mask because I'm a warrior. I'm a person that when I put on the mask, I go into battle. And in the same way, I think I represented when Raul took the mask on, because a lot of people didn't understand why he wore the mask. He was in hockey or
and he scored the goal.
Yeah, or things like that, But I told people it doesn't represent being cocky or being this, being that. It represents who you are, where you come from.
So you put the mask on, and something happens. It transforms to the character of Sin Cara, correct?
Yeah, obviously Sin Cara has a lot of my essence of who I am as a person. But I think when I put the mask on, something in my head or in my heart or something changes, that I want to give my all, that I want to do my best to do what they come to see Sin Cara. And this experience, it was different because I didn't get to wrestle there. I was just there to be part of the team, like a special guest. They gave out 20,000 Sin Cara masks, like made of cardboard.
20,000.
I think that's a low number, to be honest. The whole stadium was full of them, and everybody was wearing them on the street.
I think you saw your video. 20,000 masks of you identifying you.
Yeah.
How cool is that experience? I mean, it's unexplainable.
Yeah, I mean, if you had told me like a year ago or many years ago, hey, you're gonna be one day in the Premier League, announcing a team, because they let me go and announce a team and send the team.
Yeah, I saw that on the video.
It was just one of those things that I couldn't that I would have never thought of. And then people asked like, did you get nervous when you were out there talking? I was like, no, I was excited. I was very happy to be able to do this and show the people that anything is possible. And people don't think that I live in El Paso. People think that I live, I don't know, in other places, And I'm like, no, I love El Paso. I love Ciudad Juarez. I come back, my dad still lives in Juarez. I go see him, I go visit. The guy that does my wrestling gear, my mask, he lives in Juarez. So, for me, it's a very special place. And to be able to go around the world and represent everybody, represent not just me, but all of them, it's amazing. Like you were saying before, you do this podcast with these kids, because you wanted to have kind of platforms where they can talk, or where they want to put themselves out there. And I think the same way I'm trying to do that, you have other people who have, they come
inspired.
Exactly. And it's not about Sin Cara, it's not about like, I went to the stadium and this is what I mean. We're representing our culture, our people. And you can tell, like, for me, it was just crazy to see a little girl with a Mexican national team shirt. She's from the UK.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question, folks. And if you haven't seen that video, I think we're uploading it on your Instagram or on your Facebook. See the video. So before we even go any further, Sin Cara, where can the people see this live right now? Or on your social media, where can we see this?
Yeah,
I see that you got...
Yeah, I'm right now, it's on my Instagram. We're doing Instagram Live. You guys can join in and Sin Cara, verified, so come and join us. And I just wanted to reach out to more people. I know you reach out to a lot of people, but I wanted to reach a lot of people that maybe sometimes don't get to see me or don't get to hear me, because I get a bunch of questions on my social media, and sometimes it's hard to answer each one of them. So come and join us. We're here live right now from El Paso, Texas.
Good. So we're going to talk boxing, okay? Because I have questions for you on that, and of course your awesome history, and of course where is Sin Cara going? In the video, I see a little boy that was waiting for you. How did that boy came? The little boy did he have something to do with you going over there or scoring the goal? Did he do something special? The boy that was inside the museum.
I think a lot of people did wanted me to go. It was something amazing by the fans.
Oh, okay.
But what happened with one of the kids, the kid that I met in the store.
In the store.
He was a fan, and he had taken a picture, and then he was like, they became global. And then there was this other kid that he went to his local park where he lives. He scored a goal. He was playing by himself. He scored a goal, and then he did the same celebration that Raul Jimenez did, putting on the mask. And then what happened with that, I reposted the video on my social media, and then so he got a lot of comments. And
wow.
Reached out. So I was a kid. I met him at the museum at the stadium. It was awesome. I signed a few things for him and took pictures and
wow.
talked a little bit.
Well, and you know what, folks? And here, we've had local celebrities, and that's what the podcast was created, and these people that are celebrities, they're into boxing, wrestling. They actually do a lot of stuff for the community. And if I know that one guy that does a lot of things is you, Sin Cara. I know I had brought you back 2 years ago to meet that little boy that was suffering from terminal cancer, and you granted him that wish to meet you. It gives me goosebumps just talking about it, and just to see the face in these kids, man. That you're an athlete, and but you're also human. But you do so much for the community that a lot of people do not realize that. So I just want to congratulate on that, Sin Cara, that you are a hero to us here, because you started from here. So you know what? Thank you for doing that for that little boy and the family. Unfortunately, that little boy passed away, but he saw his hero, and it was you. So it was good, man.
Those are the things that motivate me to keep me going. A lot of people, sometimes it's hard to be able to, when you come back from work and you just be yourself and just get a circle of just in your home, right, with your kids, and then you don't realize it. But outside, what's going on. But for me, I want to give back to my community. Like, because he gave a lot of people gave a lot to me. It wasn't just because I made it because it was amazing happening nowadays. It has to do a lot more than that.
You were once 5-year-old. You were once 8.
Exactly.
You started growing.
My teachers, my parents, my uncles, everybody that that I've had in my life, bring a little piece of themselves so that I can make it. They saw this kid that wanted to have a dream, they wanted to become this professional wrestler. Because that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to become anything else. To be a wrestler.
You want, and I think everybody starts like that.
Yeah, so,
you want to be the Hulk Hogan's and the Sin Caras of wrestling, man.
So then when my platform got a lot bigger, I wanted to use that to motivate. And I've done a lot of things. Sometimes I don't put it on social media. I don't announce it. I don't want to media to because that's the way that I am. There's certain things that I get to do in the media, puts it out there, which is great too. But most of the time, I'd rather, for privacy of the family.
Of course.
I tend not to put it out there, but it doesn't mean that I just come home and sit on my butt, at home and watch television. That's it.
You're still a family man.
I'm still a father. I wake up every day at 6:30 in the morning, wake my kids up, get them ready to school. My wife is doing this and that. So I help. I take them to school. If I have time, I go pick them up. When they get sick, I take them to the doctor.
You're a normal guy.
Normal guy.
So let me ask you, do you do all this with the mask on?
No. A lot of people have that question, do you drive with a mask on? Do you do this?
No.
I'm like, no. I'm not. The good thing about a mask is that once I take it out,
they don't know who you are.
A lot of people don't really know who I am. There's a few fans that really know it for years that I don't think they're gonna, but they're very respectful. People are very respectful. Overall, I think people don't really have no idea who I am. Which is fine. I don't really mind.
Do your neighbors know who you are?
I think a couple of them, because I have a bunch of border patrols and house and everybody, but everybody's very cool.
Yeah, because you'll beat them up, man.
I guess, and then they see this guy all tattooed up, sometimes outside.
Oh, okay.
And then one of my best friends is all tattooed up too, so even if they don't know me, they probably what goes on in that house.
Is that Sergio, the guy that we just met?
Yeah.
So we're going to ask you about the mask. I got some questions for you. So did you see are you a boxing fan?
Yeah, I love boxing. Wow. For me, I remember when I was growing up that Cesar Chavez was the man, The country would stop. Mexico would just stop. Crime would stop. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, crime would stop.
And my dad would put a television outside the house so that all the neighbors could watch it. So we were all outside yelling and screaming over Cesar Chavez.
Wow, what a fighter.
Yeah, he was an amazing.
So you remember seeing Julio Cesar Chavez fight?
El Finito Lopez.
El
Mantequilla Nápoles.
And he still lives. Mantequilla Nápoles still in Juarez.
I have some pictures of him, some negatives that they've been impressed of when he was growing up. He was very good friends with a photographer in Mexico, Porfirio Monte. And so I got a few things, and so, since I was a little kid, I followed boxing. Even in the barrio, when I grew up, and in El Paso, in El Segundo, y en Ciudad Juárez, and in Rio Colorado, we used to put the gloves on. It was part of growing up.
It was a way of life.
Even if you didn't know
how to box.
Fight, that's how you learn how to defend yourself.
Exactly. That's
become tough, have courage, and not be afraid. And I think, for me, boxing was one of those things that motivated me. Even if I didn't practice the sport, as what it is, but the kids do here. But I still knew about it.
Yeah, you put some. That's the way we settled things back then.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I did when I was growing up.
Threw some punches. And
I remember my brother. We used to tell the neighbor, "Oh, he was talking about you. Go beat him up." And at the end, they'll beat me up because he was bigger. But that's the way we used to settle things, man.
Yeah.
Kids, we were kids out in the barrio. We did our chores at home. We get out there, we fight. That's what we did. That's all I did. I would fight. All the time. I would fight anybody. My brother would tell me, "Okay, this guy wants to fight you. Go fight."
Yeah, that's the way it was.
That's the way.
For me, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Yesterday, I grew up in here in El Paso and Juarez, but a lot of my time I spent in Juarez, and I got into a lot of trouble as a youngster. I never smoked, never drank, but like you were saying, I like to fight. So I got into a lot of trouble with the vodka thing and all that stuff. And yesterday I ended up encountering this lady, and she recognized me back then, and I'm like, "Who are you?" She was like, "Oh, you're this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I used to fight against my brother." she hated me whenever we were.
Because you beat him up?
Yeah. And then now we were talking, and she had kids now, and then I showed her she's like, what are you doing? And she was like, what? The kids were like going crazy, taking pictures of me. Like,
they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they couldn't believe it.
Wow, man.
So it was pretty cool to be able to, be able to come from that into where I am now.
Wow.
So it's good to know that I can motivate a lot of people.
So, what did you think of the Canelo Jacobs fight? Are you a Canelo fan?
I like Canelo. I think the only thing with Canelo, he wants to be that Julio Cesar Chavez.
I think,
and I don't think that he can. Just be him. He's a great fighter. He's a person that has made it, from the bottom to where he is now. And I think I enjoy the way that he fights. Because Canelo, yeah. Because he's a guy, he's smart now. When he was younger, he just wanted to throw down, which I get. Now he's a smart fighter. He's getting older. He understands what the game's about.
Yeah, and
people hate on that because they're like, oh, this.
Yeah, he wants to brawl, but he's getting better.
He has all, like, if you have money, because you have money. If you don't have money, because you don't have money.
Yeah, you can't please everybody.
That's how people are gonna always judge. But at the end of the day, he's doing great. He's motivating a lot of kids, a lot of people that want to be like him.
Yeah, and I think Canelo is maturing, and he's beginning a good fighter. So, you like Canelo? Do you see his fights, and what did you think of the Jacobs fight?
I think it was good. Obviously, the other guy was a lot bigger, heavier, and a lot of people wanted Canelo to not have a knockout every fight.
Yeah, no.
And it's not like that.
It's not like that.
Boxing is different. It's about technique. It's about showing the other person that you can not get
hit.
Exactly.
The science of don't get hit.
Right.
So people were saying, and then I even heard people that it was bought. The boxing was bought. He sold himself, and I don't think so. I mean, that's absurd.
Who wants to lose?
Nobody wants to lose. Even though in boxing they're winners already, because there was a guaranteed, I think, purse of over $10 million for Jacobs and over 30 for Canelo, already guaranteed. But overall, it was a good fight, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It was good for the people.
Got entertained, but I mean, obviously, as human beings, we're never going to be satisfied.
Of course not.
Which is normal. I mean, I don't want to be satisfied to the place that I am right now. I want more.
Of course.
We all want more, but I understand that. But then again, like, he has put his heart, his effort, everything that he's done to be where he's at now. And we just got to enjoy that. Because then when he retires, you're going to be like, oh, you're going to talk about Canelo. Oh, you look at Canelo, he did this, he did that. So enjoy it.
And you know what, man? You mentioned that he wants to be like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Nobody will ever be a Jordan. Nobody will be a Michael Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody will be a Sin Cara. Legendary people. But I think who knows, maybe Canelo should take his own identity, his own legacy.
Yeah.
Just people want to live through others' legacies. And it's not going to happen. You just can't compare it. Even if it's your son like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., everybody wanted to compare him to his dad, and he actually went along with it. I think if Junior would have taken another path and had another identification, he wanted to be so similar to his father, I think he would have had a better turnout. And as it is, he crashed and burned.
I think it was the people that wanted that. I don't think it was really him.
And they drove him to that,
and
right?
I think they drove him to that. And obviously, economically, that
of
drove.
course.
So obviously, as a human being, that's what you're there to make money.
And do you,
in a sense,
do you think that Junior was also damaged goods because of his father's fortunes and monies?
I mean,
if he would have raised up a little bit more poor, maybe.
To be honest, it's hard to answer that question. I'm going to answer it as me. People always say like, "Oh, my circumstances. I was in the body with drugs and this and that." I was there. I lived through everything, and I never did anything. So it's a matter of choice, personal choice, what you want to do. So I don't think that's one of those things that obviously it has an effect in your life. But then, what kind of effect you want it? Positive or negative? My dad would always tell me, like, I can't be with you 24/7. But remember, any choice you take is going to have a good or bad consequence.
Yeah.
And that always stuck with me.
Yeah, accountability, man.
To this day, everything that I do, if I make a mistake, then I can blame nobody else but myself. And I think in the life of many boxers or the life of many athletes, when they have a famous father, they want the kid to be like their dad. And it's not them, I think it's the people. Because we want to live those glories again. Like when we saw him like Charlie.
Yeah, I remember.
Champion, and we want the same thing. We want to live through those moments. But it's not like that.
And I think Canelo is going to do that. So I think Canelo is going to be the next Mexican superstar in boxing, but not the next Chavez. Now, let me continue real quick here on Canelo. Right now, I don't think nobody is there for Canelo. The only person that I think, folks, and And again, I apologize if I'm going to say this. The only thing that I can say is probably Billy Joe Saunders. Have you ever seen this guy? It's a European fighter, or from he's out there. I think he's the only one that can give Canelo a run for his money. Billy Joe Saunders, not the Charlo brothers, not Demetrius Andrade. I think it's Billy Joe Saunders. And folks, if you want a live chat on that, let me know what you thought of the Canelo Jacobs fight. We have a couple of more minutes here. We got a lot of more minutes, so we can discuss Canelo Jacobs. We're going to go to the live chat real quick, champ. So we're going to talk to Sergio Colazo. Said Arriba Juárez. He's listening to you. Místico El Príncipe de Luz says, hey, Sin Cara, I want to be a luchador like you, and I was wondering where you get your gear and where you train.
Well, I train in Ciudad Juárez.
Wow.
That's where I started my training.
You started there and you still train there?
Yeah, no, it's harder for me to be able to train lucha as much as I wanted before. There's a couple of places here in El Paso that I know of. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hector Rincon. Hector Rincon wrestled under Hurricane Hector. He was Eddie Guerrero's best friend.
So where does he?
He's in Northeast El Paso.
So he
trains in his backyard. He has a wrestling ring there, and he takes kids and teaches them, the proper way.
Really? Wow! Shout out to him. Yeah. Is he listening to the podcast or no?
I don't know. But if he's listening, he's an amazing person. He's a guy that he works, but then he gives his time for his kid to be able to learn the proper way to wrestle. Because I know there's a lot of people that they say they're teachers or they teach this, or I'm pretty sure it's often the same thing. And unfortunately, when you have a dream and then somebody tells you, oh, I'm going to make you a wrestler in 3 months. And then you start wrestling and then you understand they're like, oh.
So it takes more.
It took me 8 years just to get in the ring.
8 years.
I did amateur, I did high school wrestling, I did college wrestling, and then trained 2 years of lucha libre. And then they told me, you're ready to become a fighter. And I was like, no, I'm not ready.
So
I didn't feel that I was ready.
So, champ, what high school did you come from?
I graduated from Burgess High School.
You're from Burgess?
Burgess High.
Wow.
I was fortunate enough to be able to have an amazing coach, Ron Denninger.
Ron Denninger.
Yeah, he's from Dodgeville, Wisconsin.
Wow.
And the funny thing about him that when I was 14 years old, he was like about 22, 23. He just graduated from college.
Wow.
So he put a lot of motivation into my person, into myself, when he saw this Mexican kid, that had a lot of talent, but I didn't know how to exploit it. He was the one that always, in a way, protected me, but at the same time, he pushed me to my limits. He understood my talents, and he understood a lot of the mental game. There were some times that I wanted to quit the team, to be honest. As a freshman, going into regionals, we were cutting weight, and I remember we were running, me and another friend, Hector Ramirez, Speck, that's what we called him. We were running, and I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm done. I'm done.
I don't want to do this no more.
And the guy's like, no, come on, man. You gotta keep running. A lot of people want this. As a freshman, we're going into regionals. Come on. So I was like, nah. And he pushed me. He continued pushing me. So that day that happened, I went home and I ate because I was hungry. And then my dad just saw me. He just saw me eat. Remember this? My dad was like, "You're done eating?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you wrestling tomorrow?" Right? I'm like, "Yeah, you gotta make weight." He's like, "Yeah." So be responsible. Your team is counting on you. So be responsible. I got in the bathroom with plastic bags and trying to sweat. Don't do this, kids, anymore. Kids don't do this anymore. But I did it when I was young. It was different times. And I remember I made weight. I wrestled. I ended up getting second in regionals. But then I lost in the wrestle back against a kid from Jefferson, but he was a senior. So I remember that I missed state by one place. So as a freshman.
Wow. So what year did you graduate?
I'm 96.
So you went to school with my wife, and she knows Speck.
Oh, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's from Burgess.
He was a 103 pounder. He was a state runner-up.
So you call him Speck because he was small?
Yeah.
Really, so you know him? Yeah. Okay. Yes, my wife's from Burgess.
Okay.
Her sister's from Burgess. My brother-in-law's from Burgess.
I just went back last year to visit a little bit, and everybody greeted me. It was amazing.
That's awesome, man.
When we called, we're gonna go visit, they were like, "Who's this?" And kind of like, "What?" And then so we had to explain to them that I wrestle and all this stuff, but then the wrestling coach told, "Yeah, he's from here and this and that," so we went to visit.
That's so cool.
I ended up bringing a thing from my house, they had a plaque of the wrestlers of the year. And they just gave it to me. They take it, so I took it home.
That's cool, man. You have it there.
And I have it with me. Yeah.
Great, man. We also have another guy on the live chat. What a great story, man, that you're from. So before I'm going to ask you the next one, there's Sergio Gamin 27 said, "How did you start wrestling?" I guess we're going to talk about that as we go. Místico against. Here's another one. Where are you originally from?
I was born in El Paso, Segundo Barrio, Neuro Clinic, in 1977, but I was raised in Ciudad Juárez.
All right, you were raised, and we'll talk about that. And then Místico also said, Sin Cara, I'm going to state next week on Friday, and like you said, if I win, I can be your friend. That's what he said. So we'll continue on the live chats. But going back, college, where did you go to college?
I went to a small school. Now it's a university. Back in the day, it was a college. It's called Western New England College.
Western New England College. Where's that at?
Springfield, Massachusetts.
All the way out there.
And that way, so you have a reference, is where the Basketball Hall of Fame is at.
Wow.
The city.
I didn't know that.
It was just crazy. Like back in when I was growing up, I mean, we didn't have no wrestling clubs. Now all these kids start from like 5, 4 years old, start to wrestle. You know, and the sport has, I think, it live on its own, which is great. Take them lead. That's what my son used to wrestle for. And
wow.
If they're listening, I want to say thanks to Coach. He was great, you know, with my kid, and he learned a lot.
Wow.
And for me, when I started wrestling, it was in high school. But then I ended up, you know, working really hard. I ended up getting dirt my junior year. I ended up winning state my senior year. I was an undefeated wrestler. I was voted the MVP of the state tournament,
wow.
And then I went to college. I went over there to college because no schools in Texas have wrestling, no colleges or universities.
Back then?
Back then, yeah. I don't think it's still now. They don't, because a lot of those kids have to go like either Penn State or Arizona State or Ohio
Are you
State.
serious?
Yep.
UTEP doesn't have wrestling.
No, UTEP, no, not even. No, UTEP, Texas,
North Texas,
Texas Tech, nobody, none of them schools in Texas, and I don't know why, because there's a lot of talent here in Texas.
A lot. There's a lot of wrestling clubs here in El Paso and in Juarez.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer the question, I guess the high school started you in wrestling.
Yeah.
Good.
That's the basics to become.
So was there a specific person that got you into wrestling? The coaches from high school?
No, it was just me. I signed up to wrestling.
All right. So when you were growing up, okay, obviously, like you have dreams, you like Julio Chavez Jr. Did you look up to any luchador?
Yeah, there was a few of them.
Who's one of your favorites? Who did you look up to?
For me, it was El Solitario.
El Solitario.
He had a golden mask with a black stripe on his eyes. And Atlantis was another one.
Atlantis.
El Hijo del Santo.
I remember, Sin Cara, my dad used to take us to the wrestling match in Juarez. And I remember one of my favorites was Rocky Star.
Oh yeah,
Flama Roja. Now he was a baker here in El Paso. Those guys were famous here. Do you know why really they didn't make it to the WWE? Is that because back then it was mostly a sport that was more for Caucasian people,
no,
like the Von Erichs? It was, or what was the why?
Well, for them, I became really good friends with Rocky Star and Sin Cara through my career and my lifetime. Rocky Star was a boxer. That's his first sport.
Oh, it was a boxer?
Yeah, he was a boxer, and then they turned him into a wrestler.
Wow.
And Sin Cara, he was just a guy that loved wrestling. So they never left because they got married young and they had families.
Oh, okay.
And they had their careers, and then he wanted to leave. And to be honest, back in the day, Lucha Libre in Ciudad Juárez was enough for them. You know?
Yeah, it was.
They would wrestle Thursdays and Sundays, and it was always packed houses.
It was packed.
So they made good money, so they did not need that platform.
Well, and then also, Sin Cara, I think it's fair to say that here in the United States, well, I don't know about the border town, but let's go deeper into the interior. It was not Lucha Libre. Lucha Libre was only for here.
Exactly.
Wrestling was different. We never heard Lucha Libre until maybe the 90s being introduced when you saw people, masked wrestlers in the United States circuit. Am I right?
Yeah, you saw a few of them, but they were not Mexican. I think the only one that really, that was a big name that went to wrestle with WWF back in the day was Mil Máscaras.
Mil Máscaras was from Mexico.
Yeah, he was from Mexico.
And he was real famous.
Yep, and then
he was Dos Caras too, right?
Dos Caras, that's his brother.
That's his brother.
And then Alberto Rio, that's Dos Caras' son, and that's Mil Máscaras' nephew. But Mil Máscaras was the first one that I can remember that wrestled with the mask in WWF. Back in the day, it wasn't very popular that a lot of like Mexicans or Lucha Libre guys would wrestle in the United States. But then in the 90s, with WWE coming along, all this, this wave of Mexican luchadors came about.
Because you know what, I believe that you guys saved the wrestling here because it was boring. After the Von Erichs, I remember Hulk Hogan saved it. I mean, Hulk Hogan was there, but when you guys get introduced, this is me, you brought some excitement, man. I mean, these somersaults, you were high flyers, and it brought some excitement to the wrestling, right?
Yeah, I think they brought something different that many people were not used to seeing, and they loved it. You know?
Yeah.
And I think it expanded in many ways, not as as a sport, but cultural-wise. Now it's a global brand. WWE is a global brand. Right now they're in Europe. They're in the European Union.
It's a global brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go to Ireland. They go to England. They're gonna go to I think Switzerland, France, all over the place.
Major.
So it has become worldwide now, which is awesome. And back in the days when they started, it was different times. Obviously, WWF was a territory, and then slowly became this amazing, that took over everything. And
Wow.
now, I think we have about 8 Mexican wrestlers that
In the WWE.
In the WWE now.
Wow. So you growing up, you see these as your. Do you have back then? Did you have an American wrestler that you look up to?
I saw a few of them.
A few?
Bret Hart.
Red Hart.
Shawn Michaels. And the thing
Shawn
that I
Michaels.
like about those guys that I can relate to them is they were not this humongous guys. They were a lot, I guess in a way, normal size, agile that I could, that I could see. One day I want to be like them. I'm able to do that stuff. But but for me, it was lucha libre. I know more about the history
Wow,
of lucha
that's
libre.
cool. And
So,
okay, go ahead.
no, I was going to tell you a little. People don't really know the history about lucha libre or about El Paso, about Ciudad Juárez, and the connection that we have with wrestling. In the 1920s, Salvador Lutero, the owner of Consejo Mundial, the guy that is called the father of lucha libre in Mexico,
What was his name again?
Salvador Lutero.
Wow.
He worked for Hacienda in Mexico, and he came down to Ciudad Juárez to work, and they invited him to the Liberty Hall. I think it was 1923, 1924, if I'm not mistaken. We'll tell you guys right now. But he came down to watch a lucha libre show in El Paso, Texas, at the Liberty Hall. He fell in love with wrestling, and he took it mainstream into Mexico. That's how the idea for him to make this global company came from El Paso when he saw a match here.
Are you
So
serious?
a lot of people don't realize, and I'm doing a little bit of research. The Liberty Hall was demolished in 1993, so it doesn't exist anymore. So what I want to do now, we have a few surprises later on during
You got
this
some
year.
projects.
Yeah, we have some projects that we want to do is to talk about that, about the history about El Paso, maybe do like a little expo about my wrestling and stuff, because I collect a lot of wrestling and stuff.
Yeah, you told
So
me one
maybe
time.
have like a little thing for people at a museum. that
Is
they
there
can
a
see.
Hall of Fame for wrestlers in El Paso or Juárez?
No, not at all.
You know that there's a boxing Hall of Fame, there's an MMA and martial arts. Do you think that wrestling belongs in that same category as boxing, martial arts, and MMA? Do you think you can be considered, or do you think it's not because it's a form of entertainment?
Well,
Because how people see it too.
that's what people always, put a little check mark on it, and they don't consider it like a real sport. I always tell people, come and train a week with us.
Jesus Christ, I've seen you fly in the ring. How's not that a sport? You guys are athletes, but people. Can you put it together?
Yeah, of course. And I think the main thing here is like if you talk to a lot of people of my generation, most of the memories are from wrestling when they were kids.
Yeah,
Because you got to see the amazing, performers in the 80s and early 90s in Ciudad Juárez.
Yeah.
So when you talk to people and you say Rocky Star, they know who he is.
Yeah.
Flama Roja,
Yeah.
Cinta de Oro, El Legionario, El Cobarde, all these guys from that were local.
Blue Demon.
Blue Demon, exactly. So their childhoods are full of memories from wrestling.
And you know what?
1929 was the year that we saw the match here.
Wow, 1929, and it all started back then.
Yep, exactly.
And people say that wrestling is fake, but you know what, man? When you do those somersaults, it's real as it gets. Am I right? And there's injuries,
I
right?
have 3 torn ACLs. I don't have an ACL in my left knee anymore. But I still love what I do. I got surgery to have a stem cell procedure on it to be able to do what I love. And I don't regret any bit of it, Like people always say, like, oh, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't a real sport, then why do we get injured?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it does belong. So maybe in the near future, Sin Cara, you'll be the pioneer. You'll be that enforcer that to bring wrestling into and put the Hall of Fame into fruition and get it going like the boxing, MMA, and put it all together in one big whole happy family. Have a section of wrestling, but I cannot believe that El Paso has so much tradition in wrestling and they don't have a Hall of Fame.
Because maybe there hasn't been somebody interested in doing that.
Wow.
Maybe everybody just, they just talk about it, but they never really put, action into do what they want to do.
Wow, that's
and I think now that I've been able to do a lot of things in El Paso. I was a Grand Marshal of the Thanksgiving parade.
Yeah, we saw you.
That was an amazing.
That was awesome, huh?
Yeah, and I got to meet a lot of people, and I think now people that know that I'm from El Paso, now they want to do something, which is great. Because sometimes they always see my Instagram account or Twitter, they think that I live in New York and in other cities. And I'm from here. I came back because I love my city. I love El Paso. I love Ciudad Juarez, and I want to do things for them. And hopefully, we can reach out to the El Paso. I don't know who we got to talk to, but we'll definitely get in contact with some people and start the petition for a Hall of Fame. That would be amazing.
You can count on our support. You can count on Warriors Ed support. That's what we're here, and we're trying to. The Boxing Hall of Fame is probably going to be. We're thinking about having it under the name of Warriors Edge Boxing, and me as the president of the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
Mr. Thomas McKay is about to retire, and I'm probably going to take that venture as well. And if that happens, you can start something there, Sin Cara, and we will rock and roll.
Because I know that they were trying to do like a boxing and a lucha libre Hall of Fame together. I don't know who was doing that, but it didn't work out because there's always a lot of people a lot of interest, a lot of things. And I think we have to do it the right way.
The right way.
To the right people.
The right people.
And
right
I want the
connections.
city to be part of this. And
of course.
it would be great that they can. And
it's awesome.
And get the people involved.
Of course, of course.
Not just me, but the wrestlers that came before me.
Of course.
Because I'm here because of them.
Of course.
So I want to pay tribute. Every time that I'm out, like if I go visit to León or Mexico, I always tend to visit somebody that I admire when I was a little kid.
Wow.
Or legends,
The legends.
And it's fun to talk to them, to pick their mind a little bit of what they went through, what they did. And I take pictures and I post it on my Instagram, because I never have the opportunity to live in a home where my dad was a wrestler. My kid, when he sees me.
Your dad wasn't a wrestler.
No, my dad wasn't a wrestler. My dad was a funeral director in Baltimore.
And that's where you started.
And he's a lawyer too. He has a master's degree in law in Mexico. Yeah, he lives in Juarez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's still alive. My mom, she lives here in El Paso. She works for the El Paso School District. She's a bus driver. So it's really cool.
Really? So you're normal as normal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so awesome, man.
My mom wants to, every time that I go see her, she wants to do like a meet and greet at the house. I'm like, Mom, please don't tell them I'm hungry. I want to just relax.
I just want to be a son.
Or she has all these pictures. Hey, my friends, I'm like, Mom, I just came to see you relax. But she's so proud of me.
She wants to take pictures of
she wants to get me, all the people to support me, which I get.
So when the WWE comes to El Paso, your family goes sees you, right? Of course.
Yeah, all the time.
And then the last time you fought here, wrestled here, you had your son walk in with you. That was cool. I saw it on TV.
Yeah, those are experiences you never,
of course.
that I never had as a kid.
Really?
So, and now he loves wrestling. He loves what I do. So he says he wants to be a wrestler. He wants to be a preacher, and I say a few things now. I was like, all right, whatever you want to do, if I can support you. And I just want him to have this good childhood, so that when he gets older and when
he has those memories.
He has those memories. Right. My dad loved me. My dad wanted to be there for me.
So cool, man.
That's the best thing that I can do.
So, what's the history, man, of Sin Cara?
Well, Sin Cara, the crazy.
Why
thing,
Sin Cara?
Sin Cara means faceless, and the name came about through WWE. The name, the story is a little complex. A lot of people didn't really know it, but the people that know about my career understand where all this came from. I started wrestling in Ciudad Juarez in November 21st of 1999 under the name of Místico.
Místico. I remember that name.
I wrestled there a lot of times, maybe like 5-6 years. I went to Mexico to look for my opportunity, took my curriculum and show them what I wanted to accomplish. And I got to wrestle there a few times, but then I came back. And then the company registered my name.
What company?
Consejo Mundial without
me knowing.
Without me knowing, but I was young. I didn't know anything about the laws, anything about trademarks. So they ended up giving the name to a guy that wrestled as Místico in Mexico and Mexico. And he became this popular guy. Amazing, doing telenovelas, and he was the wrestler of the moment.
And that was your name, and you were like, what?
Yeah, and it was hard. I had to go through a lot, but then I continued my dream. I never put myself in a place that I was like, you know what, I'm going to quit, this is it. They still this for me, That motivated me to keep going. So then when I get to WWE, I got signed and I wrestled under Unico with a mask. And then a year later, this kid, Místico from Mexico, got signed and they gave him the name Sin Cara. They made this
Wow.
big-
So this guy followed you.
yeah, in a way, yeah, we did.
So are you guys like arch rivals at that point?
We didn't know each other.
Okay.
We didn't know each other at all. So then he came to WWE. They made all this big deal about it, this big press conference in Mexico, and they announced it and all this stuff. He comes back to the States and WWE and starts working, but unfortunately, he did not, succeed at what they wanted it from him, because his style's a little different. You got to speak the language, and sometimes people don't understand that you got to be able to talk English, for everything that we do, because we do more than just talk in the ring or wrestle in the ring, and he never adapted to the style of what they wanted from him. And I don't know, to be honest, like, I don't want to talk about about nobody, but what I tell you here, I told him to his face. I'm a man like that, When we spoke and when we wrestled against each other, I told him, like, I'm not here to be your friend.
I'm here to wrestle.
I'm here to wrestle. I'm here to work.
What does he do now?
He works in Mexico now under Carístico.
So he's still wrestling.
Yeah, he's still wrestling. He came back to Mexico because they fired him from WWE. That's when they gave me the name.
The name Sin
So a
Cara.
lot of people were like, oh, they were mad because I got the name. But I was like, everything came back. When something belongs to you,
Wow,
at the
that
end of
is.
the day, God gave it to me for a reason. And I waited my moment. I waited my time. And he only wrestled with the name under like 2 years, because one of those 2 years he was injured. I've been with the name for over 6 years now.
So, I know if you guys Google the Sin Cara, you'll see the other guy. But I think, can I say what separates you guys? What
Yeah.
we can identify you as a tattoo
Yeah.
on your left shoulder,
Right.
shoulder,
Yeah.
tattoo of an eagle,
I'm an angel.
angel, and that's what separates you.
And
Now,
I'm taller too.
I know that guy. Not that guy. That guy's a real Sin Cara, right?
Yeah.
But he only wrestled 2 years. So, baseball is, when you go to baseball, the kids make it through high school. They go through a farm system: the single A, double A, triple A. Chihuahuas are the farm system of the San Diego Padres, right? And then if you make it there good, the Padres see you, they pick you up. Is that the way it works in wrestling? Do you have a farm system, or by luck do they just look at you, or you just gotta send tapes and video to the big gods, which is WWE or WCW?
Well, back in the day when I wanted to do a trial for the company, we didn't have social media like it is now. We started having like MySpace and all, with a little bit of this and that. So imagine that. So you couldn't get
On
yourself,
VHS?
Yeah, you couldn't get yourself
Video.
out there. Now the kids have this platform to they can show the world what they do.
But that's the way it works.
No, for me, it didn't. I waited my moment. I remember that I asked Nicho Millonario. He was the original Psychosis. He wrestled in WCW. He wrestled in WWE. And I got to wrestle with him in Ciudad Juárez for a long time. I ended up winning the WWE World title against him in 2004. And I remember that I asked him, like, you know what? Can you help me out to get a trial or something? I remember he gave me this paper with the number of the agents of WWE. It was like, call them, Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson. And I was so scared that I never called. I still have that piece of paper, but I never called. So what I did,
That's gonna go in the museum.
But yeah, I started training really hard. I remember I want to train, take some pictures, and then send them out. So that's what I did. That was in 2008.
And then when did you get the call?
And then through wrestling, I was wrestling in the independent circuit. I met X-Pac, Sean Walkman. I got to wrestle with him, and he liked my work. So he was the one that one day called me. He was like, you know what? I want to see you want to do a trial for WWE. I know the people there, and I asked about you a little bit with some friends, and they told me you don't drink, you don't do this, you speak Spanish, you speak English. Would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, sure. So that's how I got my trial. 2 weeks later, I was in Corpus and Laredo making my trial with no money. I had no money. I remember that I had to sell some of my wrestling.
So the trial was in Laredo?
Yep, in Corpus and Laredo. I had to drive. I had to get myself out there. Now they pay all their like the travel and everything. Their trial for me was like that. So I got to Rasho, and imagine me getting in there and asking like, and I see Randy Orton, Big Shaw, this
And
guy.
you didn't have a mask?
No. I did a
Okay.
trial. I remember that I got so scared that I didn't even wear my gear. I had some warm-ups, some shoes, some tennis shoes, and a T-shirt. That's how I did my trial.
Wow.
And I was lucky enough, or I don't know if you call it luck, but I was blessed enough to be able to be picked. As soon as they saw me. And then like a couple months later, I was at the Performance Center. Back in the day, it was FCW. Now it's called NXT, which they have this amazing. You have 8 rings with a state of the art gym, and they have computers where they can go watch like matches from the past. if they want to do promos, they have to sit around where they practice their promos. So they have all the tools to become successful. That, for me, it was different. We only had 3 rings. It was in the main arena and 2 in the back. And I remember we used to train, and then after that, every like couple of days out of the week, we had to go to John Cena's private gym to do weights. It was like an hour of travel.
And back then, John Cena wasn't that big, huh?
Yeah, he was.
He was. He's always
been that big. But I think nowadays with social media, it helped a lot. And now
exploded.
Yeah.
So it says here you were total non-stop action wrestling in 2006.
I did a little matches for them.
Okay.
And actually, the funny thing about that, they wanted to sign me. They sent me a contract. I signed it, and then I was waiting for them to call me to go, I guess, do TV or whatever. And then one day I get a call, from the Red Rooster. he was working back then with TNA, and he told me that I was irresponsible because he didn't come. But I never got an email. I never got my flights so that I could travel to Orlando to do the TV tapings. And I was devastated because that was my big opportunity.
And you missed it.
That's what I thought, and I missed it, and I was devastated about it. And I remember I started like crying. I was like, what can I do? And I messed it up, and I don't know what to do. But then a few years later, I get signed. And then
with the WWE.
With the WWE, yeah, exactly. And then
back then WWF.
Yep. And then I go back. I remember that I was in an NXT show because I was already on the road. And then Mr. The Red Rooster, I see him at the TV taping, Terry Taylor. And the first thing that went through my mind, what happened with him and me, he was the one that gave me the call that told me that he was already responsible, that I didn't care about my job and this and that. I go up to him and was like, you remember me? And he was like, yeah. He's like, how you doing? He remembered my real name. And I was like, you remember? He's like, yeah, I remember you. He's like, well, now I'm here. He's like, oh, that's great, this and that. But we never talked about what happened back in the day. I just wanted him to know
that I was here.
That I made it, no matter what happened, that I made it.
No matter what's going to be placed in front of you, you made it, right?
And now we're really good friends. Every time he sees me, he gives me a hug, and we talk, and it's fun.
So, tell us. So now we heard about the history. Before we ask you about the WWE, if we can, how's the mask? I mean, do you make your own mask? It's awesome, man. I'm seeing you right now, and it's so cool, man, to be interviewing you, man, because you look awesome with that mask. You look like a warrior, like dude, I would have messed with you, man. So do you make your own masks?
No. Unfortunately, I don't. I would love to learn, but it's a process. It's not easy.
But you pick your own.
Yeah, me and my team, they call them the team. That's how they name here. We always have an idea in my head, and I always call him or text him. You know what? I have this idea in my head. Can you make it happen? And then he sends me maybe some drawings or things,
cool.
and we work on it together. Sometimes I just give it the idea, and I tell him, you work on it. I let you, have a free hand on this and put your magic into it.
Do you? When you get your mask, does the WWE have to approve them?
No, not at all.
Okay, but they're cool with it?
They give me free leeway in what I wanted to do.
So,
to go with the character.
Yeah, man. So you have crosses. I've seen a lot of crosses in your past mask. Is that something that's always in your mask?
Yeah, I'm a very spiritual person.
Is this for the?
I'm a man of faith, yeah, obviously.
And it's always because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, the last mask I saw, they had a cross too, man. Yeah. Pretty much everywhere, man.
Yeah, I have it in the front and then I have it in the back. This mask that I have, it's in honor of Villano Tercero.
Is that who the picture is?
Yeah.
I thought it was you.
No, it's Villano Tercero.
Oh man, I've seen that guy before.
He was one of the people that I admired when I was a little kid also. And he was the one that took the mask off Clama Roja when the mask versus mask.
Wow, man. You should put one of those.
Don't worry, anything can be done. That's the good thing about the mask. You can do anything now. And I've done...
I'm telling you, we should put one of the Warriors Edge logos there.
Yeah, you can do anything, to be honest. So now that I've done this tribute to stars, like I've done it for El Cobarde, El Guerrero, for El Santos.
The late Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah. I did a special edition mask also for Rocky Star and Sin Cara.
Wow.
And I wrestled with it in Mexico City. People don't really know who they were now. Thanks to social media, to everything that we put out there, people understand that these guys were amazing. They were like local heroes, and they never went more than that because they didn't want to, not because they didn't have the talent for it.
So, how's life in the WWE?
It's tough.
It's tough?
In this way.
Okay. whatever you and I know
the travel.
Whatever you can say, okay? I know it's tough.
The travel of it, it's insane, you know. But
because you're never home.
Exactly, but I'm not complaining about it because this is why I wanted to do this as a little kid.
And you're married, Sin Cara?
Yes.
And your wife supports all this?
Yeah, my wife supports it. It hasn't been easy for her because I understand that 250 days of the year I'm not home.
250?
Yeah, when I'm on a full schedule. So you can imagine it's not easy. But at the end of the day, you know, I love what I do. I love, you know, performing for the fans. I love being, you know, who I am. And she understands that. And for me, I understand that my career, it's only a time frame. So I'm not gonna do this, you know, throughout my life. So I want to take advantage of what, you know, what WWE has given me and the platform that they have provided, just for me, but for my family. So for me, I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do. And I say tough. The word tough sounds a little rough because people sometimes think that we have it easy. We just go and wrestle and that's it. No, we have to travel, get up in the morning, 6 a.m. or sometimes earlier, depending on the flight on Saturday. Take off, get to the city, go train, eat, go to the arena, warm up, wrestle, take a shower, eat, drive 2-3 hours to the next town, get there, to our hotel, get all our bags out, try and go to sleep, get some rest, wake up in the morning, go to the gym, come back, take a shower, go eat, go wrestle again. That's how it is.
Wow, so it's tough because of the travel aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
Why else is it tough? I mean, how's Undertaker?
He's cool.
He's a cool guy.
He's a great guy.
He's a scary guy, man.
Well, he's big.
How big is he, man?
He's about 6'10", I think, 6'11". But he has a heart of gold.
Yeah.
He's a great person.
Man, that guy's tough, man.
Yeah, most of the guys are really cool, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a few here and there like any place else, but when that happens, I don't really pay attention. Then you say hi to me, I say hi to you. You don't say hi to me?
Of course, like anything. So
so
you're in the WWE. Is how's being a Hispanic in a Caucasian dominant sport? Maybe I could say that. I don't know. How is it being an Hispanic in the sport that there's not really that many Hispanics, a minority?
I think for the WWE is that we have to prove ourselves more than other people because we come from a different culture. We're not, you know, that typical 6'8" guy, 280 pounds that looks like all jacked up and amazing. You know, for us, it's different. You know, we always have to showcase our talent to let them know that that's what we're here for and to prove ourselves. I think the other thing that has lacked in many of the Latinos is the opportunity to succeed. I think we have that opportunity, and we have not exploded to the max to be able to, you know, make big stars. And obviously, like Eddie Guerrero and Alberto Del Rio and Rey Mysterio made an impact for a lot of us, and all of us want to be like them. But then again, like I think all we need is the opportunity to succeed, and that's how I've always said this. You know, in the interviews that I've said, and even in my social media, all we need is the opportunity to succeed.
And for the most part, everybody takes it well, but I'm pretty sure there's someone that...
Yeah, there's always complaints about people who are like, how come you don't win a title? How come you don't win a belt? How come you don't do this? You don't do that?
You have won a title.
Yeah, I've won a few. Yeah,
I've won a few.
But people always like complain like, oh, you just... They use this word that I hate. They call it a jobber.
A jobber?
A jobber, yeah, because you do the job for the other person.
Oh,
you know,
I've never heard of that.
That's a wrestling term that the fans, you know, use, and I hate it. Why? Because they think they know what we do. They think they know what we go through.
Yeah, no.
And they don't. You know, you don't have the right to call me a jobber because you're not there.
Wow.
Until you get to know me, until you wrestle with me, and know, you can ask most. I don't want to be cocky, but you can ask most of my coworkers if I'm tough or not. Ask them who the real Sin Cara is.
You're tough.
What if I'm about?
Do you get along with the other Hispanic wrestlers?
Yeah, I do. With most of them, I do. You know, we're good friends and we talk.
Is there Rey Mysterio one of them?
Yeah, he's a great person, man.
Yeah.
He's one of the most nicest people that you can ever meet.
And
he's just
all
hard, yeah, man. He's a really humble guy.
Who's also out there, man, from the Lucha Libre and the WWE?
Andrade, he used to wrestle as La Sombra. He's just coming up now. He's dating Charlotte Flair, so everything is like flooded because he was bigger.
Charlotte Flair is Ric Flair's daughter?
Yeah.
Is she in wrestling too?
Yeah, she's wrestling. She's great. She's doing great. You know, she's one of the top performers, you know, in WWE. Not just for men, for women, for both. And he's dating her now, so a lot of people are like saying like, oh, Andrade's getting the opportunity now because he's going out with her.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's
everywhere, huh?
Look at his job. Look at his, you know, his work. He wrestled in Japan, he wrestled in Mexico. He's an amazing worker everywhere he goes. So don't start putting all that blame in or
everywhere,
saying
huh?
stupid stuff like that. Yeah, that's what people tend to do. Oh, he's just a governor. Oh, he does this because this. I'm like, come on, people, just enjoy him. He's an amazing performer. Go watch him. Watch his videos, what he does. He's great. I love him. I had a big rivalry with him. It was just amazing.
So, I know you've been to the big show, and that's WrestleMania.
Yep.
How was that? How was that experience? I know you said one of your best experiences was going to Europe this past week. But how about WrestleMania, wrestling in front of, how many people were there?
The one that I wrestled that I always consider the best time was 101,760.
Can you believe that?
People, if I'm not mistaken.
101,000.
At the Cowboy Stadium, which is the AT&T Stadium.
And you fought next to John Cena?
No, it was me. It was in a ladder match. It was Cody
Oh,
Rhodes.
ladder match, that's
for the
right.
Intercontinental title. Cody Rhodes, Zack Ryder, The Miz, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
That's cool, man.
And it was great, and Dolph Ziggler. And we had an amazing match. It was just one of the best experiences of my wrestling career. Just to be able to
make it
perform.
there.
To make it there,
That's
to
the
be able
peak.
to perform. And the match was just great. It was full of action-packed stuff that we did
Yeah, I've seen
that
it.
I hadn't done in many years, and that I never did before, and that I haven't done since. It's not because I can't do it. It's because there's times and moments, and you gotta perform and showcase your talent.
So, and I think being a wrestler, kind of, there's also pressure of coming out with a new move. I think your ring introduction is you fly over the ropes, right?
Yeah, I do. There's a trampoline, and always people make fun of. Some people make fun of it, like, "Oh, he uses a trampoline to jump over." And
Are you kidding me?
And I'm like, go home and try it. And if you don't fall on your face, then you're amazing. Then you should be Sin Cara and not me. But then again, like people always underestimate what we do. That's the way people are. And I always tell people, just try it one time. A lot of my coworkers have tried it, and like when we're in a live event, and they can't make it. It's like, this is hard. How do you do this? I'm like,
God, yeah, you fly over the.
just practice, yeah.
It's a 4-foot ring.
Because it's just really close to the ring. Like if you miss, you're gonna hit your head on one of the ropes.
And it's
or
live.
You're gonna make it.
And
yeah,
it's live.
Exactly. And then, let me tell you a funny story. There was a time where I always tell people when we have live events, don't put the spotlight on my face, because with the mask, the material, it reflects into
Can
my
you see well?
Yeah, I can see now, perfect. But if you put the light, it reflects into my eyes. And as I'm running the walkway, I can't see the
Because there's so much lights and smoke.
So this happened a few times where I'm running and I can't see anything, so I just light in. And then the people are like, come on.
Oh, yes.
Somebody was there.
Yeah, but you were like.
Yeah, I was like, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Oh, so if you don't see, you can bail out at any
Yeah, I
minute.
just light in the ring.
So that's one thing we didn't know as a
And then I tell the
wrestler.
crew guys, like, come on, guys, I can't see. Like, don't put the spotlight in. And they understand, so they always ask me now, like, you want spotlight? I'm like, no spotlight. If you gotta put it on the thing.
Or behind me.
Or behind me, not in my eyes, because I can't see it.
So now we know when we see you, the
If I
trampoline.
slide in, it's because of that.
Oh, okay, because it's always flying over,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So that's like your signature move.
Yep.
But then also you got other ones that I've seen that they're amazing. It takes a lot of agility. I think if I even tried one of the ones that have the least force, I think I'll be in the hospital, or I'll have the check engine light on, man, for like a week.
Yeah, let's not do that.
So life in WWE has treated you good. I mean, unfortunately, you got to travel a lot, and
That's the only thing, but other than that, like, I mean, I enjoy what I do. I
does
get
your
the
family
chance.
go with you sometimes?
Sometimes they do, especially in the summer. I take the family with me to shows, but it's not easy. They understand that they have to travel.
And let me ask you: is the WWE family friendly? Is your bosses okay with the family?
Yeah, it's PG-13. Yeah, every time that I bring my family, they come with me backstage. And
They're PG-13.
Yeah.
They have a code to go by.
Yep.
It's not what we see.
No, it's different. I think a lot of us that take our families, they get to enjoy being backstage and meeting all our friends. Ray Wyatt and Ray.
Undertaker.
My son has pictures with all those guys. They're just great. And every time they see my family or my kids, they always say hi to them. They're very cordial with them. And it's just fun. I enjoy it.
So it's PG-13. Wow. So who has been the most talented wrestler you have wrestled?
It's hard to say for one. I've had, the opportunity to work with many people and many guys, but some of the matches that I enjoyed a lot was with Tyson Kidd, from Canada. He's Maddie Neihardt's husband.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed, working with him, and it was a lot of fun because our styles were kind of similar. And also with Andrade Sin Almas.
Oh, those were the most talented wrestlers?
That I consider wrestling with. Obviously, there's been a lot of guys that have had great matches. Alberto Del Rio is one of the other guys that he was just
And he's tall too. Huh?
Yeah, we just did magic in the ring. You know, we went to tour together, and it was just easy to work with him. It was fun. I enjoyed it. The styles, you know, were kind of similar, so we blended really well, and it was a great show for the people.
Good.
At the end of the day, it's just for the people. This is not for me. It's not for them. It's for the people that pay a ticket to come see us.
Wow. So we're gonna go back to the live chat, folks. We got Sergio Gamin 27. What inspired you to make your mask? Any inspiration on the mask? Was it because I know you're a godly man and you're real religious because of the crosses? Does anything else inspire you to make those masks?